everyone. I'm Kimberly Calhoun, one of the founders of PodTV.tv. And today we have our episode 92 of Timeshare Solution or Surrender, hosted by Irene Parker, where we share with you some of the solutions to timeshare issues. There are all kinds of issues that are going on right now, but one of the things that we wanted to do when we first started this show was eventually try to get some new laws in place to prevent some of the timeshare scams. And there are ways to do that with the laws. And we now have two senators who are willing to and have drafted a law that will help prevent some of the scams. And what we need is help from the viewers and from anyone who has suffered from timeshare scams. But meanwhile, I'm going to bring our host on, Irene Parker, episode 92. Go, girl.
Unbelievable.
I know.
That was a good introduction. This is TARDA, Timeshare and Resort Developer Accountability. And I'm going to right away bring our guest today, Kelly, in my favorite state of Louisiana. No better food than Louisiana. And then we also have Sarah out west. And it wasn't planned this way, but we have, this ties into the Timeshare Transparency Act. And in case someone wants to pause it, and we will see today how some of these provisions would have prevented the heartache that these families are going through. And so I don't forget, we are, as of January 2026, 25 minutes live and 35 minutes pre-recorded. And we appreciate Brian from Tug, Jeremy of Destination Timeshare, and the others who have donated their time to be part of our library. And it's kind of ironic that we have Sarah and Kelly, because the AARP has submitted a letter of support to the bill, and we're looking for other organizations. There's 7 military organizations, the Gold Star family, Blue Star family, one of them is Jacksonville Legal Aid, that submitted amicus briefs to the appellate court to support Steins versus Westgate Resorts that ruled in favor of military families. So I've been sharing with Kelly it's been so hard for me. And last week I talked about a second suicide where the person left in their note behind their comments about timeshare and how that attributed to them taking their own life. And then this past Saturday, we have an Army veteran of 22 and a half years who sent me 10 pages that he would like to be read before Congress. He is in his final stages. His doctor gave him 2 years to live. That expired in September. And for him to have taken the time to that, it was 10 pages. I edited down to 7. And so I really appreciate the support from Kelly and Sarah, and of course Kim and the Pod TV producers, because Kelly is going to be talking about Capital Resorts. And the chairman of Arda Rock, the American Resort Development Association, Resort Owner Coalition, that is supposed to be our protectors, the chairman of Arda Rock, Kenneth McKelvey, is an executive consultant with Capital. Jason Gamble is the president and CEO of Arda. And I sat behind him when he said that when he was senior VP of Wyndham back then, and he said exit companies are not needed because Wyndham has a hardship department. And yet you have this Army veteran that in his final stages, and they're refusing to take the timeshare back.
Are we talking about Wyndham Cares?
Wyndham Dodge Stall and Ignore Department. Yeah, that's what it should be named. But it's been quite overwhelming. So we're going to start with Kelly, and this is also a senior situation. She's here on behalf of her parents. And your father served how many years with the Army?
Well, he did 4 years, and then he was a manager, a branch manager for the United States Postal Service. So he still extended help to the United States. Yeah. So my situation in advocating for my parents is the fact that they were told one thing by a sales rep, and then they're being held to the T with what's written. And in all fairness, during that time, it was one month after they had lost their only son. 1 month. They expressed that. They were in tears in the sales presentation, had multiple people to come in. They assured my parents that it was a club, not a timeshare, because my parents had a bad situation with a timeshare before where they paid it all out and could not use it. So they just didn't want to do a timeshare, was assured that it was a club. So when it came time that, hey, we can no longer, they weren't using it. They had never used the points. The points went wasted. Called in at the point when they realized, hey, we want out. Then now it's a timeshare, and they were told they could not get out. So, I became connected with this organization that has been very instrumental in guidance. And the conversation began with Capital, with their upper leadership, of which I'm still disappointed in that it seems as though it's just a normal routine, I guess, for people to complain. And this is not a complaint. It's really someone's life that's being affected by their actions. Right now, I'm sitting in the lobby of a hospital. I'm in the visitors center because my father, who a month ago had a heart procedure, has had to have another heart procedure. And this has all been expressed to them. So I'm still holding them accountable for making right, because they should work with some level of integrity. At least that's how my family works. So I guess my parents trusted them that what they were saying was accurate, that they would be able to exit, once they could not travel anymore or once they couldn't afford it. And that hasn't been true.
And you were with them during the presentation.
I was with them during the presentation. I disagreed with the group presentation where they said, I witnessed there that they said it was different from a timeshare. With all of the headaches that people had gone through with timeshare, they came up with this club as they were acquiring different properties at that time. So I became frustrated because I felt that there was a lack of efficacy in what was being said and what was being shown. As my father wrote his notes, as I tried to video them saying, hey, this is not a timeshare, it's a club, I was asked and told I had to put my camera away. They took my father's notes, of which he wasn't allowed to keep, where he would have proof of what was being said. So all of the evidence, I think, is a very coward action, to be honest, to trap people in, especially elderly. We have no evidence other than me being there, but I did not. After that, I walked out. I wasn't in the whole time, and I returned back. They were there over 8 hours, 7 hours. Was not allowed to take medicine. They didn't even offer. They weren't classy enough to offer lunch. Like, these are elderly, guests who has medicine to take. That wasn't offered. So, in my opinion, and my father and my mother, they weren't given an opportunity to make a very educated decision with resources available. It was just relying on the trust of what the salespersons were saying. And there were many salespeople that came in to jab them in my opinion.
And the signing was recorded?
The signing was recorded. I do recall, so I came back in and I do recall them telling my parents that they just have to have verification Just, it's no big deal. Just run through it. You don't just get it over with, and, not to really pay attention. By this time, they had not taken their medicine. They were tired. They were exhausted. So was I. And
can I ask a question? Do you think that, because I got caught in the same trap, it was hours and dehydrated and everything, but if they had been given the opportunity to walk away and say, read after vacation, like if they, on vacation, but could go back home, would they have read the contract and been better at making a decision than being coerced into signing a contract, same day sale? Would they have made that effort, do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as I mentioned, this is 30 days after their only son passed suddenly.
Right.
And
I was through the same. I went through the
so
same
imagine that. And my mom is a dementia patient. They both walk with assisted cane so having resources available when we were in a better mind state, for one, and something to read, because we're definitely readers, but their disposition wasn't even in a position to make a rational.
Well, you know what? They could almost argue state of mind, right? They were not of sound.
Let me interrupt. Did they use the recorded closing against you?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, let me back up a minute, because the recorded closing was started in 2016 by Diamond Resorts. Over 1,000 complained. And I got a call from their PR firm. Irene, we're going to go beyond the assurance of discontinuance. We're going to record the call. And I said, what a perfect entrapment. And I cannot tell you how many complaints of being told what to say or not say on the recorded closing.
But here's the thing, not to interrupt you. So the representative from Capital Vacation actually spoke to my father. He's 86 now. He's a very intelligent man. But with his heart condition, all of that, of course, he has medicines take a toll on you. Anyway, he told this representative, Ms. Kebler, it would have been so nice if you all would have recorded the sales presentation. If you have recorded the sales presentation when your sales reps were telling me that it was a club instead of a timeshare, when they told us that, hey, the last thing we want is for you to be unhappy. You can get out anytime. Why was that not able to be recorded? If that was able to be recorded, we wouldn't be talking right now.
They do that on purpose.
We would be on equal wavelength. We would be on equal wavelength. Hey, I have the recorded statement. You have your recorded statement of the contract. But yes, back to Ms. Kimberly's question, if we have those resources in writing, this is a major purchase. Any major purchase, a car, a house, anything, you're going to have time to understand what it is, not to have a life-changing purchase to just be thrown at you. So I'm waiting for them to allow, hey, let me record what your salesperson said.
Well, the thing is don't wait. Don't wait for them to allow it. Just record it. Because even if they don't allow it in court, you can defame the mess out of them.
This guy put me out nearly. Like, he was getting so confrontational that I was recording it. Like,
I don't want to forget, though, that they did offer you an exit, but you refused that. And the numbers that they used were staggering, that they took your 7,000 loan balance and said if you waited the term, it would be 14,000. And so offer you 4,800, and there's only a $7,000 balance. I mean, goodness, I don't want
to use it yet. In the last 3 years, they haven't used it. All points have been nothing has been used.
You can't use the points anyway. I've already tried. It's very hard to be able to go try to book the points yourself. That's how one of the arguments we made is that it's cheaper to book it without the club membership than it is with. And so that's a good sellable point. So go take the points, whether you're going to use them or not and can't use them, and go take snapshots of if you can use them. Because a lot of times they're going to tell you need to buy more points in order to use that week. Okay. Those points are worthless anyway in my book. But take a picture of that and then go try to book the same place, same time, and it's going to be cheaper and available. A lot of times it's not going to be available with your points. So I would kind of do that as another argument, but I mean, I'm sure you got more fight going on too.
Well,
But
yeah, actually, that does not work because there are millions of people that are happy and find good value. But before, I don't want to
yeah,
shortchange
but
Sarah.
Lynn told me that that does work in a court of law to prove that there was no value of the purchase because you can get it less if you book the same week outside of the membership. He did tell me that is a good argument. So
Yeah, but
I got that from him. So
there's too many people that do enjoy their points, just to be
Right.
devil's advocate. But I want to make sure we get to Sarah. Kelly, you were going to say one more thing.
Oh, I was gonna just mention how heartbreaking. I guess I'm speaking from a level of being an advocate for people who have been helpless in situations as a FEMA quality control inspector. And when they come with problems, I'm so wanting to solve those problems and see where the inspector may have made a mistake. Here, it was just blatantly like as though there was no investigation. There was nothing. It's just like whatever, no care, no type of values that she wanted to align to that the company represents. And I'm blown away by that.
Well said.
This is what it is. This is the time we definitely need
So
regulation.
who's the agent you were speaking with?
Maria
She should-
Kepler.
we should not say that.
But this is with Wyndham Cares.
No, this
No,
is with
Capital Resorts.
Capital
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Resorts.
sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have
Yeah.
said that.
And I will say, as long as you mention the name, that she has been fair in the past. So one of the things that was more difficult was you purchased it in 2023, and it's kind of hard to go back 3 years later and say I was deceived at the presentation. It shouldn't be, because sometimes it takes that long when you get ready to sell.
Well,
But
I don't think that was a
Yeah.
presentation. I think it was that we contacted them when they told us to. When you want to end this, contact us, and that's exactly what we
That's not
did.
in the contract, is it? It's not in the
That's
contract.
exactly what we did. We didn't wait 3 years. They had not used the timeshare at all. So
See, I
when
was
my
told
parents-
exactly the same thing.
when my
was told-
parents could
Kim-
not use it.
Okay, time out. We need to get to Sarah. I don't want to shortchange
Yeah,
Sarah.
let's get Sarah's
Okay,
story.
so, and she's
Thank
had a
you.
little bit of, very well said.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, we can certainly have you back again, both of you back again. We promote self-advocacy, but there are times when we get into legal waters that we are not qualified to address. So in the case of Sarah, we're not going to say the name of the company because she did elect to have legal representation. So Sarah, if we can get through, might be a little bit of garbly left, but if you can let us know what your comments, especially about the public offering statement, and also in your case, not having access to the booking site until after the rescind period because of your history with Hawaii.
Oh gosh, I don't even, yeah. Yeah, the public offering statement, they did not present the whole public offering statement. They slipped in the signing portion of that right into the contract, and then once we came home, of course, after the 5 days that they had put in there, we had realized that was an option, and so yeah, I just kind of went crazy after that. And basically, I mean, I do have a case open with the real estate division in the state I signed with, and so I mean, I did a lot of self-advocacy for a long time. And this is new. I bought literally in August, so this is, as soon as I found out, I started making calls and realized what I had got myself into. And it was just, they were really good. They were really good, that's for sure. But yeah, so they lied, lots of things, and I got to a certain point and realized that this was actually a legal thing. So yeah, I got a lawyer, and he's gonna kind of take it from here. But what was the other thing, Irene?
It was on contingency,
Yes, it's on
which
contingency.
is very unusual because
Absolutely.
you're not getting money back, you're getting a loan canceled. So what is the attorney going to get? A third of a loan canceled, you know? So he will try to get some monetary reward for you.
Well, actually, I have two options. I can just try to, get out of the contract and pay once he gets me out of the contract, then that's when I pay him. So that's amazing. Or I can sue him. I can sue the company and try to get my money back, and even sue for attorney fees. And at this point, I may just very well do that, because
Did he say sue or arbitrate?
He said sue. He said sue.
Really?
Sue them for the money, for all my money back, what I put already into it. And if I want to throw on attorney fees in there, let's throw on attorney fees in there. And at this point, I'm about to do that, because I told him, I was like, okay, we do the contingency thing. You try to get us out of the contract. Let me see if I can use these points real quick. Let me just use up all the points real quick, because then I'll at least feel like if they let me out of the contract with as much money as I've already put, that they got out of us from the down payment, that I would at least get something out of it. Well, as you know, that's, not, they don't make it like that easy. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could take one trip and use all of our points, but they're ripping us off for sure.
Yeah.
What did he say about the arbitration clause where you agreed not to sue?
He said that he I don't know, he's done this enough with them that the only difference in my situation is that I'm choosing not to stop paying, because I'm not going to mess up my credit for them. So
yeah, that's one reason why I referred you to the attorney. And then the Hawaii thing where you ended up with Florida instead of Hawaii, and that's where the rescission period would have, if you had had access to the booking site during the rescission period, right?
And not only that, it was, that's what if I would have actually had my original, the Hawaii property that they had told us, that might have actually been worth some value, and I probably could have resold that. But then they lost it at the last minute. So let me give you some bonus points, which is double what you're even buying a year. So to me, that should have been like, I don't know why I didn't wake up. I have an enzyme disorder too, that under stress, I don't know. I can be doing things and not really even realize it causes.
It's another reason to retain an attorney. But also, we have to wrap it up now. But the public offering statement that says, read this carefully before signing, was buried in a pile of statements like they usually say it. And yet somewhere you probably initialed that. So Kimberly, the 25 minutes just flies by. The 60 minutes seem like an eternity, but these are fluid situations. And I hope both of our guests will come back and report back as how they weathered this process.
Absolutely. Updating us through the process helps us guide other people, helps other people get ideas, because as I try to mention, this is a do-it-yourself solution show. We try to give people the resources they need. But everyone, thank you for joining us this week, episode 92. Yeah, that's right. February 9th. Everyone, stay warm, stay healthy so you stay wealthy. And we'll see you next Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Timeshares, Solution or Surrender. If you have a problem, reach out to tarda.org, or if you have a suggestion. We look forward to
two new legislative advocates right here.
That's right. Thank you. Take care.